Hello and welcome to my little bookish corner of the internet. My name's Harriet. Today I'm going to be talking about a book that has been all over the internet for a very long time. I'm probably one of the last people ever to read it, but that is Normal People by Sally Rooney. This book is so hyped. I picked this up, I want to say maybe a year and a half ago, maybe even 2 years ago. So it's been a little while sitting on my shelves and I've only just got to it because I was scared. I was so scared I was not going to enjoy this simply because it was so hyped up and everyone was saying how amazing it was. And then as time went on, there did seem to be more reviews of people saying that they really didn't get why it was so popular. So I was definitely really nervous to pick this up, but I did finally read it and now I'm going to tell you what I thought. So to start off with, if you didn't know what this book is about, we are following two main characters called Connell and Marianne, and they grew up in the same neighbourhood, went to the same school, but Marianne is kind of seen as an outcast and a loser when she's younger, whereas Connell is part of the popular crew. So they can't really be seen together, but they strike up a relationship with each other that they try to keep secret. And then it's following them as the years go on, as they move out of school and as they go into regular adult life, and what happens to their relationship and where it goes from there. So this isn't usually the kind of thing that I would enjoy. The only thing I can think that's similar would maybe be some of Taylor Jenkins Reid's works, in the fact that it's kind of like a modern day romance and it's all very realistic and something that you can really relate to, which is super cool because it is so modern. But yeah, other than reading Reid's works, I've never really read anything like this before. So when I started it, I was genuinely extremely nervous that I was going to hate it. But I actually had the best time with this book. I have not really read anything like this before, and it was just really gripping and really interesting. Same with Reid's works. I feel like the characters in this actually feel really genuine and like they could have existed. I will say they're not the nicest characters to read about. There are times when you really do hate them. Marianne is quite spoiled. She comes from a more upper class family, whereas Connell comes from a more lower class family. And I feel like Marianne sometimes takes that for granted, but it's really interesting reading about her because of that. Very interesting to see the dynamic between the two characters that come from these different backgrounds, how they interact with each other and what they expect from each other as well. I find that both the characters have their own kind of flaws, which again makes them feel very genuine. And I really enjoyed reading about Connell's character. When you first start this book, you do end up hating him because of the way that he treats Marianne and the things that are happening. But as time goes on, you actually start to realise why he is the way he is. And I will say there are some content warnings for this book. So there is a lot of talk about suicide, depression, anxiety, and there is a scene that involves sexual assault as well. So if you don't feel ready to read this book, please don't pick it up. It's written in quite a blunt way almost. Everything is very set in stone and it's said to you exactly how it is. So yeah, there's no kind of fluffiness about this book. It's all very raw. But I found that that was what made it really gripping and really interesting to me. In terms of the topics of depression and anxiety and things like that, I have read some reviews where people have said they found it to be romanticised. I honestly didn't find that at all. I think that it was very interesting to read from a character's perspective that is dealing with those things, and interesting to see how people react to that. And the person that is dealing with those things, they're not exactly very open about it. So it's not like the other characters are really interacting in any way like that. So I don't think it can be romanticised, but I suppose it's just down to the reader and their experience with it. Another thing that people talk about a lot with this book is the fact that there is no speech marks. I knew that before going into this, so it didn't freak me out too much. It was weird, it's an odd choice, but that's down to the author, I suppose. And as soon as I started reading it, because I already knew, it didn't really bother me. I didn't find myself getting lost at any point, being confused when people are talking. I think it's written in a certain way that you can't really get confused. It's very obvious where the speaking starts and ends. So yeah, I didn't struggle with that, but I know some people did, so I thought I'd mention it. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed this immensely. I thought it was really good. I do think it is worth the hype. It's not my all-time favourite book, don't get me wrong, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I think I read it within 24 hours. I could not put it down. I thought it was brilliant. So yeah, it ended up being a 4.5 star rating for me, which is really high. Definitely let me know if you've read this one down in the comments and we can have a little chat about it. But that is it for my review today. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!